Money, money, money.
Morning LPI.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are our Janair Bears. So they don't shoot healing rays out of their tummies, but they do sponsor StarCraft. So I think we all know which bears are the best.
Is that what the Care Bears do?
I don't know what they do, man.
You're just making stuff up.
The only way I know Care Bears is from the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, where somebody gets hit by a Care Bear stare, and
yeah.
That's the entirety of my knowledge of bears and hearts in their tummies, man.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, maybe the Janair Bears shoot stares out of their tummies. What did you say before? Hearts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Healing
maybe
rays?
they shoot affordably priced airfare, Brendan.
There you go. Dinner actually does offer some fantastic flights. Like, let me just chill here for a moment. But yeah, kind of a local thing. You know, they go from Korea to Japan and Hong Kong, places like that. Anyway,
Island also. Yeah. Here we go, Brendan.
We got some StarCraft, guys, and we have a pretty unbelievably, fantastically, marvelously sick TBT coming your way. It's ByuN versus TY.
And I know, Neeb has the nickname Average Alex, but ByuN pretty average here. 1 win, 1 loss, 5 wins, 5 losses. Pretty even, not necessarily what I expected, but recently, ByuN has been popping off. This guy looks right back up to his previous form, and even TY in a recent interview said that he actually thinks ByuN is a better TBT player than he is.
Well, kind of interesting to hear from TY, who's actually 2-0 so far, 6-3, and definitely one of my favorites to make it out of this group, and probably on to SSL Premier IMO. But also, by the way, TY, I think for the first time in a while, is not playing the 3rd match of the night, so finally gets to come in here a little bit earlier.
He didn't have GSL earlier on this morning, and he did the last few times.
He's got so much rest, he's still yawning.
I think there's been 2 nights where he had to both play in GSL earlier on in the day and play in the last game of the night. So what a guy. We decided to cut him a break. Hopefully he got some well-needed rest earlier on. But let's take a look at the map pool. Brennan, Whirlwind, Daybreak, Abyssal Reef, Belshire Vestige, and Frost. So for once, starting off on a very big map.
Yeah, and I just feel like the way these maps are going to go, you can see Whirlwind, Abyssal Reef, and Frost. The more defensive, wider, more macro-gamey maps are very spread out. Should be a pretty nice, volatile series where we see, some macro play and then maybe some more aggressive timing pushes and then more macro positional play, especially on Abyssal Reef. I love that that's in the map pool for TBT. I really do like that because I feel like there's so many different ways to outposition your opponents early on as well as late. Putting your tanks down below the destructible rocks at the natural early on. If you can get that position with like a Raven and some Vikings, you can get that advantage there. But also later on, when they start getting the 4th bases, you can really abuse the cliffs and stuff. So really like that that's in there, and I think this is going to be a really close one. I would not be surprised to see it go to 5 games.
Yeah, definitely would not be surprised to see that. If it does, we're going to hit Frost as our last map, so that should make for an epic last game in the series. Our Korean commentators are going nuts.
They're showing off their 6 shirts.
Okay, we actually have to take a little bit of a break here. One of our Korean commentators has a T-Rex on the middle of his shirt. Kanata has a big diamond. The other guy has like an
and it says GG at the bottom, except one of the G's is backwards.
What a sick shirt. My shirt looks like I have the tie on the outside of the collar. So, I don't know, guys. We definitely...
Rapid got his shirt at the thrift store for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that bad. I think it's okay. I just like the more like relaxed kind of.
You had like 3 different shirts for SSL Challenge so far.
That is true.
So I don't know, man. But yeah, our Korean commentators even like gesturing, like, yes, my shirt is the greatest. So
yeah. I feel like the guy in the blue with the empty battery shirt kind of got ripped off there because the other 2 shirts are much better. One that has like a rainbow T-Rex, and then of course the diamond shirt was pretty good. But
if you guys aren't watching the Korean stream, you are definitely missing out. And they actually even like subtitle some of those sometimes, so it's pretty cool. Big part of why the
look at that shirt.
How dope is that? Oh my goodness. That's just the greatest shirt. That's like the 3 Wolf Moon shirt, but for casters.
I think he was actually, he seemed pretty happy when they gave him that shirt too. He's like, yes, I have a cool new shirt to put on. But
disappointed, Brendan.
I got my brown shirt. It matches with the, with the display. mixing in here at SSL Classic.
We're chameleons, man.
Challenge.
One of these days, we're actually just going to have a totally green backdrop, and we're going to wear green shirts, so only our floating caster heads are going to show.
See, that would actually be better. I would actually prefer that. But, yeah. Maybe for Season 2, we can get some... We can mention that. We can get some nice T-shirts in here.
Somewhere we'll pull the budget to get us back and up to being fashionable. Well,
you know what they could do is they can hand me down shirts to us.
That's
you
right.
know, like
We'll
they could do it
the
cast
shirt.
before because the foreign viewers aren't going to watch that cast. Maybe now production will like it because I already mentioned it. It's not a secret anymore. Anyway.
All right, well, speaking of popping off, our pop star Taeyang TY is going to be going up against ByuN, the most convoluted of segues, Brendan, into our first game of this second series of the night. Fly Better Flying onto Whirlwind in the red, our Terran player. Playing for Splice. Just kidding. They introduced them in the other order. Playing for Team Expert, that's ByuN. His opponent in the blue, who is playing for Splice. New pickup there. It's TY.
And look at this. I was so happy. I'm like, cross spawns, yes. Macro game, but no. Actually, ByuN, he wants to play against the map, and he wants to do it in pretty flashy style. We're going to see a bunch of barracks in the middle of the map, but it will be lots of Reapers coming TY's way.
Double proxy racks incoming here, Brendan. Or maybe just one. I don't think you send two SCVs out if you don't want to make two barracks. And indeed, there it is. The second barracks on the way. Remember when you could build these before supply depots, man?
Yeah, back
so
in the good
much
old
of my
days.
elo came from that, man. Wings of Liberty came out. I stood in line at midnight at my GameStop to get this. I went back and I played it on my 12 FPS HP laptop. And you know what I did? I made lots of barracks before my supply depots. It was a good time to be alive.
Oh, you were helping balance the ladder, you know?
I did. I helped balance that ladder a
Blizzard
lot.
had to see a lot of those builds in order to get to where we're at now.
Yeah, I almost got to Diamond off of nothing but 3 racks. It was a great moment.
Almost. Well, you do see the builds here from TY is pretty standard. It's just Reaper expand. TY likes to do this a lot, but on a big map like Whirlwind, having a Reaper out early is good for that scouting information. So we'll have that out. The question is, how many Reapers ByuN wants to save here at the Watchtower before he actually goes for the push? Is he going to bring any SCVs to bolster the push?
I mean, I think you kind of have to.
What will be the follow-up?
He's going to scout first, and so this is sort of that, 33%. He's going to make it a 50-50. Or where do you send your first Reaper? Does he guess correctly? It's a big factor about how successful his push is going to be.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you can see he scouts the bottom right, sees that TY is not there, and is actually going to send his Reapers right to TY's base.
I don't like this, Brendan. I think you only show one Reaper because immediately you can see ByuN is TY going to throw down that the bunker. Seeing these 2 Reapers, he knows what's on the way.
Question is, can he actually get that bunker down? ByuN really wants to take out that Reaper. He's so close. TY with really fantastic control, but at the same time, losing a bunch of SCVs in the process. That's going to be 5 in total going down. This is kind of the power you do get if you are able to send both of those Reapers on in. And this is actually a bunker for ByuN.
Hellion does come out, but TY does lose his first Reaper, and he's going to lose the Hellion off of a double bounce.
That huge grenade into killing that Hellion was gigantic, and now with 2 more Reapers coming on in.
Well, the bunker's going to complete too, and even though he does lose one off of a little bit of miscontrol, I mean, look at that Reaper micro, just impeccable. This is one of those ByuN Reapers, man. I remember reading a Reddit thread about
one of those Reapers. Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
You
just got briefed, man.
I'm sorry, everyone.
What happens?
ByuN able to take game number 1. And yes, Rapid, that is what happens when you drink too much Monster.
It's also what happens when you listen to the Blue Oyster Cult too much. You learn how to not fear the Reaper. Well, it turns out, guys, there's a time to fear the Reaper, and that time was then.
Yeah, it was a really nice build. It's definitely very unexpected, right?
Yep. Sorry,
it seems like you have something to say.
Well,
so
I was just reminding myself. These are like my mnemonics. Where you like tie the string around your finger to remember something. I just have to count it off first. 1, Whirlwind, huge map. You don't expect the proxy rush. works super well. ByuN also showing us that he is back on form with what we all know and love ByuN for, and that is insanity micro right when it counts. So, I mean, this is what is so, like, it just kind of gives me those nerd chills, right? When you see players that are so well known for one thing or another, just illustrating why they are just so good at the game. And we have 2 of the 4 horsemen of the Terran Apocalypse playing here tonight, guys. So you see ByuN winning games with super crazy micro. I think that in this next series, maybe not going to be quite as easy for ByuN. TY is going to be ready for it. He's going to be on point with his scouting maybe, and that's going to maybe give him an opportunity. Notice how I snuck that maybe in?
You snuck that maybe in, it just made your whole statement so much more safe, Rabbit. It was perfect. I loved it. I loved it.
Years of practice, Brendan. That way when somebody makes that Reddit thread about how I was totally wrong, it's like, well, I did say maybe.
You did say maybe.
There you go. All right, here we go. Game number 2. Spawning in the red. Fly Better Flying to the bottom of the left-hand corner of the map. This is Team Experts, ByuN.
Good start for him up against his opponent. Up in the top right, the blue Terran. Hopefully does not want to get picked off like that, as he did in game 1 of this. TY.
All right, no SCVs in the middle of the map, Brennan. We're looking good. Daybreak is the map, of course, and there are decent proxy spots here, but you know what they say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you must be a Protoss player. Game number 2 here will be a little bit more standard, although double gas actually coming up for ByuN could still signal some shenanigans.
Yeah, might want to go for early Banshee Cloak here, just very, very fast. He could also just be trying to go for an early Raven, which of course can be good for setting up push, having a lot of energy on that Raven for when you do actually push. Could also just use it for harassment. He's going to send out this SCV and get the scout off here on TY first. You can see even after game 1, TY playing it pretty, I don't know, laid back in his base. He doesn't really seem too taken aback after that game 1 loss. Just going for a very similar build.
Neither player going for an one player going for an I see the SCV there. I'm like, I wonder why that SCV is patrolling, Brendan. I just don't. Okay, well, there you go.
Well, you didn't say it. You were close.
I was about to say yikes there, too, but it's a good thing I didn't say yikes, because if I said yikes, then I would have just totally broken my commitment not to say yikes on the broadcast, man. Well, narrowly dodged that one, man. All right. Well, this is going to be where our cheese begins, Brendan. ByuN gonna go throw down his proxy starport into some cloaked Banshees. Unless he just really believes in landed Vikings, and that's what he's gonna proxy. I don't know. Or will he? I
thought that SCV might be the one proxying down there in the bottom right, but actually it's just for a delayed scout with the Reaper. And I mean, it's going to be good for going Reaper versus Reaper, obviously. And actually, he comes in here at a really nice timing. TY's Reaper is out on the map. Down goes the SCV, delays that CC from coming in. And having this SCV out here, as I said before, makes this trade so much better for ByuN.
Yeah, you can pressure that Reaper off, and great control actually allows ByuN's Reaper to move over the mine. And these mines actually have very long cooldowns, but here we go. ByuN's Hellion coming on in. There's nothing really to deal with. There's one Hellion to deal with this, but the extra Reaper will allow more damage to be done to TY's. He's going to have to pull back his Hellion, probably wants to repair that as well. This pressure is delaying that expansion.
Oh boy, TY supply blocked here. He was expecting that CC to give him that extra supply. He's desperately trying to finish it here. Must be pretty close if he's going for that, but he is going to lose another SCV.
Oh, great control here. ByuN just on top of finding the narrowest of advantages. He even kills off that final Marine. 2 more come out and end this push, but there's another follow-up on the way, Brendan.
Yeah, and you do see that TY finally does get that CC down here, but ByuN immediately starts his own CC. TY adding a Viking, just trying to play it safe afterwards to hold off anything here. And it was definitely a nice bit of damage, delayed the CC quite a lot. But ByuN did have to sacrifice some units to do that, and obviously delayed his own CC here. Daybreak, daybreak, that is. Daybreak.
Daybreak. That's when you just you got the cake batter out and ready.
Oh,
you roll out of bed, and it's right there. As we all know, Brennan, it is a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. So that's what you do.
That's exactly what I was trying to mention here with the daybreak.
When you daybreak, man.
Exactly. So on daybreak, a big map definitely offers TY some time to pull himself together and kind of just go into an even game. See that ByuN made these 2 Cyclones, which haven't done all too much just yet. ByuN actually going to reveal the cloak already. TY did have that Raven about to finish up just in time anyway. He's going to come on in here and begin shelling these Marines.
All right, well, here comes the Raven right on time. Very well coordinated. Banshee will be relatively ineffective. Does get that last shot off.
He could have killed 1 more Marine. It's first world problems when you're watching pros play.
Yeah.
You feel bad when they miss that tiny bit of micro.
I mean, we as casters can be like, well, Brendan, he really just should have gotten that extra Marine. And then when I play,
obviously,
I just like
messed up big time.
Yeah, I would have died in like 2 seconds to this build. I'm like,
would have just like flown the Banshee into the Marines and lost it. We're like, oh, well, I guess my whole build is lost.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, either way, ByuN continuing with this mini push that he's got going on with the Cyclones. Unfortunately, this Banshee will be taken out. Once they get on top of this tank with the last minute repair is not on time.
Our timing of the word on repair was on time there, but that's about it. Double Cyclones coming up. So many SCVs are going to die here. Great pressure, great push here by ByuN. It is just a little bit of a mini push, but still lots of damage being done.
ByuN just playing this kind of aggressive style here against TY so well. The Cyclones do so much damage to that Viking.
The most disgusting control, Brendan. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Brendan, what are they doing to me? This is so sick. And behind this, ByuN manages to go for a Russian game 1 that is just devastatingly strong. Game number 2, he holds back a little bit, still gets the damage done, and behind that, he's already working on a 3rd base.
And you can see TY is just sitting back like, I gotta get my upgrades up here. I keep on sustaining so much damage. What am I gonna do? There's gonna be no scout on that 3rd base for quite a while, and ByuN is actually gonna one-up TY's 1 engineering bay with a double engineering bay play.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Exactly.
You can build more engineering bays than you. Okay, the cadence is off on that, but you get the idea. I was trying. Poetry is not my strong point, guys.
That's why you were a double math major.
Yeah, I was going to say, as far away from the arts as possible, and yet somehow here I am. Oh boy. All right, so we are going to transition into a little bit more of a mid-game. I was kind of worried there when ByuN did such a great job with his early push, but we're making it. ByuN will be sizably ahead, though. If not in the worker count, he's only up by 5 in that base count. And here finally is TY's retaliation.
Yeah, you can see the angle that he comes in here with the drops, too. He gives ByuN the credit, and oh man, this is unbelievable timing on this Marine
ByuN,
scout.
what is that Marine doing there? Why? TY, I don't know. It's just, it's insane. So ByuN immaculately scouting this out. The most elucidated Marines on the planet, finding out exactly what is coming his way, and TY turns around.
Yeah, TY's not even going to bother. He's like, okay, well, you got me. You caught me with my pants down. Not much that I can do now.
Yeah. Well, he's going to pull up his pants and head back home. Always a good decision. Yeah. If you guys are ever conflicted about what you should do with your pants, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, pull them up. Don't want to see that. Here we go. TY, he is going to just keep all of his medevacs together and all those Marines, and as he does not go for the drop, just group up everything and wants to go for this big push towards the 3rd. And you can see there was a bunch of units of ByuN in the main, and now TY trying to push on in here.
Immediate mass repair on that tank, meaning it will survive basically forever. More tanks coming in here for TY. He does have that aggressive advantage. He will start to shell this 3rd.
He's got a nice little position here. Can slowly begin to shell the orbital. But you can see ByuN going to buy some time. He can always repair, and you can see he's doing that with just 2 SCVs to buy even more time.
Working on getting Liberators out, but I love what TY is doing here. He's not overstaying his welcome and allowing ByuN to build up a big forest and break him. Instead, he's going to pick up and run right into the main.
Bunch of Marines in position just on time. TY, he chooses to continue dropping, though, and trying to go for the juke play. will get his tank down and sieged into the main. This will definitely become a problem for ByuN.
Now there is a tank already sieged here for ByuN, who will buffer for it by pulling the boys. But will this be enough for ByuN to make that high ground or take that high ground back? Looks like just barely it will be.
See this push over here. That tank was still shelling for quite a while, but eventually ByuN was able to deal with that. In the meantime, as this push was coming down.
The one Marine's gonna kill a reactor. Worth. All right, but this time it's TY's turn to try to push, and he will manage to take out that tank before it gets a chance to be mass repaired, pulling everything and trying to get into this tank line. ByuN takes out one, but will be forced to pull back.
Oh boy, TY with the moves this game. This is what we know this Terran player for, the multitasking, able to outmaneuver ByuN on this map, even with ByuN's play, trying to get so much damage early on here. And you can see TY after that, he grouped up and just non-stop aggression out of this guy. Now he's up 25 supply, and he has a very easy, well-defended third base.
Yep, TY for that base. He's gonna take it. And back on off. Incredibly well played, and I'm glad you pointed that out, Brendan. We were talking in game number 1 about how micro-intensive ByuN's wins generally are. He gets the most value out of so many of his units. And okay, turnabout fair play there. TY, the one with a random unit to scout for that drop coming in. But yeah, this is what TY is known for. Incredible positioning, the decision-making, where he puts his units, and even his control there, impeccable. And he will even up the score and even take a little bit of a lead there. Will he pick off that medivac? No. A little bit worried there.
Ooh, ByuN trying to go for the surround here. TY's tanks are already set up, but still a bunch more units here for ByuN, it seems.
Wow,
trying
ByuN's
to push on in.
Just going to unsiege tank push his way through, but yikes.
Not quite enough. And actually hitting right before level 2 weapons was done. A bunch of his Marines were still at home too, so not the push he was looking for. It's looking good for just a bit, but actually the unsieged tanks not really doing it, and the reinforcements of TY's Marines able to get there in time.
I mean, you can see the idea there, right? Unsiege my like 5 tanks versus your 3 siege tanks, and it's going to work out. But a scan for ByuN will, or for TY will reveal ByuN has not chosen to retake that base. So all TY has to do right now is just hang on. So you can see double sensor towers, most likely sieging up most of his tanks and just preparing to hold on for dear life.
You see, he has drawn some of TY's Marines into the main, and he is trying to out-multitask the multitasker, and it's not working out.
No, a little bit of a rough control there by ByuN, and it looks like, you know, TY has just gotten himself into such a strong position where now he just knows what he has to do. Just make sure you don't, you know, succumb to a drop. Make sure you don't, you know, get caught out of position, and none of that is possible when you are this turtled up.
Yep, he's sealed up. Nothing gonna be hitting him right here. He's trying to float his main orbital to the 4th base location, but you can see that ByuN never even bothered to take a 3rd. He is gonna go for one final push here, but everything from TY is set up. Yeah, prepared. A bunch of tanks even on the high ground.
Stims forward and tries to take out a big bunch of them. We'll get a couple of the tanks to TY, but I mean, you can even see TY. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna expand here. I have won this fight. Everything is good to go. Stimming forward. Okay, wow. Oh, that's a way to get back in the game. A little bit overzealous there by TY. He'll lose his orbital, but should be able to clean up this push.
Yeah, eventually does clean up all the units on the ground, and even though he took out that Oracle, or rather that orbital, no Protoss in this game, but ByuN trying to take his 3rd base, but TY's army right now is just so far ahead. Look at how many medevacs there are in the sky. There's like more medevacs for TY than there are Marines for ByuN. Almost. Pretty close, 17 to 10.
Wow. Well, I mean, there's going to be more here in just a second as ByuN continues to have units shaved away one by one. TY pressing his massive army advantage. Now 77-80 to 20. That'll be a game number 2 win for TY.
And we were talking about it a little bit in the middle of that game. I feel like both games 1 and 2 kind of highlighted these two players' TVT style. You know, the very heavy micro-intensive early game out of ByuN, trying to just out-micro his opponent, get a very early lead, and even got an earlier 3rd base, but still, once TY, I guess because ByuN was like, okay, I've got this 3rd base I have to defend, that was like TY's playing field. He was like, okay, now I know exactly what to do to pull you apart. And it was really beautiful to see. You know, he's like, okay, I can scan here. You're probably going to have some defenses at the third. And then I'll force you to draw everything to the third with my one tank. So then I'll actually go for a big drop on the main and get a bunch of damage done that way. And eventually took out the third. Just pulling ByuN apart piece by piece.
Wow, I really want to go back and watch that game because that positioning TY got into is just so hard to deal with. Oh my goodness. ByuN drops game number 2, and that makes it essentially a best of 3. We've already seen one epic TVT in this SSL Stage 2. It looks like we are setting up for yet another one. TY taking game number 2, taking us in to game number 3.
Fly better fly, Jin Air. Thanks, Jinner. And up here in the top left, this is ByuN. Losing that last one, trying to come back here in game 3.
Furrowed brow ByuN, one of the most dangerous ByuNs out there, man. His opponent, also in the red shirt, but in the blue chair and the blue Terran color, is TY, who will once again now be facing off against the Wrath, the Proxy Double Barracks.
Yeah, here we do go again.
Guy. You know, so I would always play games with my friends, whether it's like Civilization or Gauntlet or all of these like somewhat team games, but also like they're kind of cooperative, but you can also just really screw over the guy that you're playing with. And I would do these scumbag moves in these games. My friends, after we were done playing, wouldn't talk to me, and I'm like, it's only a game. Why you have to be mad? And that's because sometimes games reveal a certain part about your character. So even though this is just a game, both of these guys will still be friends after this. This does say something about ByuN as a person, deep down inside, willing to go for what is. This is wacky, all right?
He's got a hot date a little bit later on. He doesn't have that much time, so he wants to cheese TY out of this one.
This is not just your everyday, regular, normal cheese.
You don't see this one every day.
No, this is Concussive Shell's Marauder double Tech Lab Proxy Barracks into an early expand by TY. Wow, Brandon. This is not just like, this isn't just cheese or a rush. This is like when you combine the two, it's like Rush Fort cheese.
It's a trush.
There we go.
There you go. I did it.
This is the wackiest thing like, you know, the benefit of going for this double proxy racks is so that you can get the units into your opponent's base as fast as possible. But instead of doing that, he's going to proxy them and then double reactor and now pump out an insane number of Marauders. Marauders don't die early on. Now, they can't be repaired.
TY, he needs a Cyclone ASAP. I mean, he's going to save his Reaper, and we'll see if he can finish that CC.
Oh, he can't.
Doesn't look like it. He cannot lift that. Wow. You can see ByuN is immediately going to go for the supply depot. Knows exactly what he needs to do. Needs to get that damage done.
This is disgusting, Brendan.
We don't see a bunker coming down, and actually supply blocked right now is TY. Uh-oh.
Well, we do see a bunker coming down there, but it's by ByuN, not TY. He's going to bust the front with 3 Marauders.
What a game, man. What a game.
This is hilarious, man. ByuN now with 4 Marauders pushing up the ramp. Those are the slowest, saddest SCVs I have ever seen. And with more Marauders joining the fight and nothing there to stop them. Now, thankfully, you know, Marauders can't shoot up as we are well informed about. But there's just nothing here that can deal with it. Bunker completes, double Marauders inside. Oh, Brendan.
I think TY had to attack that before the bunker was completed because now he can just kite forever with the Concussive Shell Marauders. And you can see the Reaper goes down. GG. ByuN takes 2 wins off of 2 early game builds. And on two big macro games too.
Look at that smile on TY's face. He just got bopped, and that's not your ordinary bopping. You don't go in, back into the back of the grocery store right next to the milk and the eggs. There's not just like ordinary bopping right there. It's actually kind of weird because in Korean, bop is rice, so you can't actually get just regular ordinary bop. You can get some jasmine bop. That's not very popular. You get some brown bop.
It's very hard to find some jasmine bop here. I wish they had it. But.
was the get out of my game, you illegitimate scrub. That is the you've never played this game before. You don't know what you're doing. Why are you playing this race on this map against me? Stand up, get out of your booth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's ByuN reading TY, and obviously these guys exchanging words in the pregame lobby. Unfortunately, we cannot see that. We don't have an observer PC, but ByuN, I think he's reading TY's scouting patterns. He's like, this guy just doesn't scout early. He always goes for a Reaper scout. And if he's always going to go for a Reaper scout, I can just get away with these builds. All
right, well, Brendan, where will ByuN make his barracks in game number 4? We will find out here shortly as ByuN takes 2-1 lead, sending us in to our 4th game of this best-of-5 series. In the red, Fly Better flying his way to a 2nd win. Team Expert, ByuN.
And his opponent, ByuN with a little cheeky smile, by the way, as
he does
TY down here in the bottom right, and look at who's going for the cheese today.
Oh my goodness. In fact, as they say, the shoe, Brendan, is on the other side of the map.
That's exactly what they say. I mean, this is
hilarious. This is anything you can do, I can do better at its finest.
It's like TY, you know, he felt embarrassed after losing that third game, and he's like, dude, I'm just gonna try to crush you here.
This is insane. Okay, so last week, if you guys tuned in there, you got a chance to see Deer and Classic steal each other's builds over and over again. One would start with the Sky Toss, and the other would start with like Blink Stalkers, and then they just trade builds back and forth, and eventually Classic was able to win out there. But this time, TY feeling a little. This is what we like to call the salty run back, Brendan.
Yes, it definitely is. He definitely looked a little bit salty after game 3. And look at this, he's doing the same build.
He's doing it again.
The same build.
Oh my
that's
God.
so funny.
The humanity. If ByuN loses to this, like, you know how ByuN is, he's a very emotional player. Last week, he lost a heartbreaking series, and it was just devastated. He was head down on the desk. It was a bad time to beat ByuN. Well, this time, I have to feel that like he's just gonna. Okay, what?
Look at the difference here. This is what TY doesn't do. He doesn't scout for ACC. He doesn't send an SCV across the map. He doesn't take that, that kind of scouting into his build. He doesn't take that kind of safety. And ByuN, he goes over there, scouts no CC. What is he exactly going to do? It looks like he wants to scout for the barracks now.
ByuN. Oh, he's going to see it. Look at his face. He just made that. Oh,
that's his sick. I'm taking a 3-1 tonight, Rapid face.
Back in the base, there is the first Marauder coming out. This is a relatively slow bunker, but it is started beforehand. All he has to do is just sacrifice as many SCVs as he needs to. Line back that front, block it off, make sure this bunker completes, and then Brendan, we will see the real troll face of ByuN.
He's trying to hit those Marauders now with his grenades, but I mean, all you have to do is see it. Now with the Cyclone out and the bunker up at the top of the ramp, I think he holds it 100%.
All you got to do is put that Cyclone in the bunker and you'll be good.
Oh, that would be sick.
You'll be good.
Then he would have easily won the game too. I would have GG'd already.
Imagine if Steel Frame allowed you to put mech units into bunkers.
Be cool.
Indeed it would be. Now, there are a lot of Marauders here, so what TY's
Reaper on an assassination mission, they get it. Nice.
That's my little golf clap right there. And there's more being constructed on top of this ramp. All ByuN has to do is just not die. Cheeky little float of the racks in here just to get high ground vision. That's a little bit of flavor, but this is TY being kind of a paper gangster right now. A guy that's got the flavor but got no follow through. We'll see if he's got some follow through. He's gonna get Bibbidi Bounce back into the Cyclones, which will take out every single one of those Marauders, and quite possibly with it, Brendan, TY's hopes of winning this game.
Yeah, you can see TY's not gonna GG out just yet, but ByuN in a commanding lead now. You can see the barracks, they're out there on the map, they're floating awkwardly. TY's like, please attack this and don't attack my main base. But you can see ByuN already sending stuff to the front, and there is absolutely no defense just yet. The Cyclone is about to pop. They'll get to work here on the Reapers.
Great positioning on it. However, because it did take that extra shot, it will lose in a 1v1 versus ByuN's Cyclone. He's going to keep microing it. There's the mass repair. Continuing to, have the sexiest Reaper control. Oh my goodness. What a...
Yeah, I mean,
what a series. Cloaked Banshees are coming up next.
Oh, that poor Barracks.
That's the BM right there. He builds a command center right next to TY's
That
Barracks.
poor Barracks is trying to be relevant in this game, but sorry, Barracks.
Are truly we not the blessed casters? I know, Tasteless and Artosis, they get some cool games. Across the series, I was watching WCS Challenger earlier on today. They had some pretty cool games. Showtime's the boss. Even watched some ANZ Australian StarCraft earlier on today. I couldn't think of what to call it. It's like, yes, this game is StarCraft. And yet still none of them have quite had games quite like this. The SSL Challenge delivers once again.
Yeah, I mean, go out there and tell your friends, guys, because I know these games, they're not on Twitch, but we do produce some pretty sick games, especially with guys like TY and ByuN going head-to-head. And we do have a nice follow-up push coming out of ByuN here. You can see the units up there in the top left. Not too many units for TY.
Yeah, really
TY
love
just with the
here. There it is.
ByuN able to put the cleanup in and take the 3-1 tonight in this TVT. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, hey man, I wish we got to see a lot of macro games. I wish, TY and ByuN went to those like 30-minute games that got to really showcase all their skills. But I feel like ByuN actually came in with the plan today. He saw TY's builds before this. He studied his play, and he's like, hey, this guy doesn't like to scout. I can easily take advantage of that, especially in a best of 5. And you could see the result right there. He took 2 free games, and then TY tried to do it against him, but ByuN actually scouts, and he actually sees this coming, so he's not going to get taken out that easily. And you really got to hand it to ByuN. No big fun macro games, but really nice read of his opponents, and definitely deserves the win.
Well, everybody out there that would have rather seen macro games than those games tonight are dumb and boring. They will never have any happiness in their lives, Brendan. Those games were so sick. Oh my goodness. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the games here tonight. What a series that was. Looking at ByuN over there in his booth, he's pretty happy.
He is giving us the thumbs up right now. He is like so unbelievably happy. He deserves it, man. He deserves it.
Definitely. What a player. What a game. Wow. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our second series of the night, guys. Our Korean commentators are still memeing it up about this game. I think the game kind of speaks for itself, but definitely get out there, share the VODs with your friends. They're going to be up on YouTube super, super fast. And make sure to stick around and come back for our final series of the night.